And there's nothing anybody can do to stop it, for which we are all very grateful. If we understand what's happening, and we are consciously aware of what to do in the face of this crumbling, this disintegration of the nation state. And this is what I'm teaching you to do, with no protestation, no rioting in the streets, no bloodshed. We don't need any of that. It's a waste of time, and it will accomplish nothing. The number of people will starve to death this year worldwide, 60 million. The number of people who could be adequately fed by grain saved if Americans reduce their intake of meat by 10%, 60 million. So you see, we are just a parasite on the face of the earth. American people, wake up and smell the bullpucky in your own life. It's time to change and quit being in denial of it. I mean, I read the other day, some guy that has a financial blog, he was proud of the fact that he was a red-blooded meat eater. How adolescent can you get? How totally irresponsible, how totally ignorant can you possibly be? And this man is otherwise very intelligent. You know, and saying that eating meat, a protein, animal protein-based diet, is an improvement over eating whole grains and vegetables. It's so bizarre, it's just unreal. And there's people who actually think that. All right, then, to continue with this data sheet here. And these are really, if these don't wake you up, nothing will. Historic cause of the demise of many great civilizations: topsoil depletion. Percentage of original U.S. topsoil lost to date: 75. Amount of U.S. cropland lost each year to soil erosion: 4 million acres, the size of Connecticut. Percentage of U.S. topsoil loss directly associated with livestock raising: 85%. Number of acres of U.S. forests which have been cleared to create cropland to produce a meat-centered diet: 260 million. How often in the U.S. an acre of trees disappears? Every 8 seconds. Amount of trees spared per year by each individual who switches to a pure vegetarian diet: 1 acre. So you see, so far, changing our way of eating to a whole grain and vegetable-based diet lifts a tremendous burden off of the planet. It is the most ecologically and environmentally sound way of living that can possibly be devised. And how many environmentalists are vegetarian? Well, that would be an interesting stat to find out. A driving force behind the destruction of the tropical rainforests: American meat-eating habits. Amount of meat imported annually by U.S. from Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Panama: 200 million pounds. Amount of meat eaten by the average person living in Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Panama combined: less than the average American house cat. Current rate of species extinction due to the destruction of tropical rainforests and related habitats: 1 million species per annum. All right, and now we move on to the energy aspect of it, in terms of petroleum products, oil. The length of time world's petroleum reserves would last if all human beings ate meat-centered diet worldwide. 13 years. 13. Length of time world's petroleum reserve would last if all human beings ate a vegetarian, and I'll say grain-based, grain and vegetable-based. Vegetarian is just too wishy-washy. And this plant-based diet is plant-based. Everything we eat is plant-based, including meat. So to say plant-based, it's just a non-event. It's just like a political correctness. It's so insipid and mediocre, it doesn't mean anything. No, we have to talk about whole grains and vegetables eaten on a daily basis. So if all human beings ate a vegetarian diet, I'm just going to quote from Mr. Robbins here, 260 years. Principal reason for U.S. military intervention in the Persian Gulf: dependence on foreign oil. Barrels of oil imported daily by the U.S., and this has gone up since then, 6,800,000 barrels a day. I think it's around 800,000 today. Percentage of energy return. Now this is really very important for you to understand. The percentage of energy return as food energy per fossil energy expended. In other words, what we get out in terms of quote-unquote British thermal units. Yeah, there's a book out which I've mentioned before called Hoping Food for Everyone, and there's a subtitle of the book is Strategies for Eliminating Hunger on Spaceship Earth by the World Games Laboratory. The only way to eliminate hunger on Spaceship Earth is that everybody to be eating whole grains and vegetables, and this is a personal responsibility. Because as I said, the governments of the world are not going to do this because they're all captured, regulatory captured by all these lobbyists, powerful special interests. You realize how many lobbyists there are in Washington? There's 25,000. And how many Congress people and senators are there? 600. So who's running the government? It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. So, percentage of energy as food return that you get out of it after you put all the energy into the food to produce it. Of the most energy efficient factory farming of meat, 34.5%. In other words, we lose 60-something%. Percentage of energy return as food energy per fossil energy expended of least energy efficient plant food, 328%. There's no contest. So why are we subsidizing the meat-eating industry? Well, I've already told you, previous episodes. Pounds of soybeans produced by the amount of fossil fuel needs to produce 1 pound of feedlot beef, 40. Percentage of raw materials consumed in the U.S. for all purposes presently consumed to produce current meat-centered diet, 33. So the percentage of all raw materials used for all purposes presently consumed to produce current meat-centered diet, 33%. Same amount, same parameter for the eating of a fully vegetarian diet, 2%. All right. The use of more than half of all water used for all purposes in the United States. Livestock production. Quantity of water used in the production of an average cow sufficient to float a destroyer. Water needed to produce 1 pound of wheat, 25 gallons. Water needed to produce 1 pound of meat, 2,500 gallons. And we had a water shortage problem. We have a water resource problem worldwide. Cost of common hamburger meat if water used by meat industry was not subsidized by the U.S. taxpayer, $35 a pound. This is 1989. So it's a lot higher than that today. Current cost per pound of protein from wheat, $1.50. Current cost per pound of protein from beefsteak, $15.40. Cost per pound of protein from beefsteak if U.S. taxpayers cease subsidizing meat industry's use of water, $89 a pound. So in all good conscience, there's no way knowing these facts. And these are facts. There's no way in any good conscience that anybody can use meat eating as this principal source of quote-unquote nourishment. And as I've said, and I will illustrate it as time goes on, this is the fundamental imbalance, systemic imbalance in today's culture. And it's manifesting in the economy, the ecology, the environment, socially, medically. It's all there, plain writ to see for everybody, if you just know how to look at it. All right. So ends this particular episode of the Mobuku Chronicles. And next time I will continue with this, because there's a lot more data here to go through. And I have a lot more to say over and above what's in here, to add to what I've already said about the problem immediately. And I will continue to hammer at this until you're sick and tired of listening and you change your way of eating. Because I am relentless in saying this material and giving out this information. And also, don't forget to check out, I put up on the YouTube channel excerpts of cooking classes I have on DVD. Now on my YouTube channel is my website URL, The Alchemical Pages. If you go to that and you want these DVDs, there's an email link at the bottom of every page of The Alchemical Pages. Just click on that and inquire, and I will send you a list of all the DVD titles I have. They're about 2 hours long, and how much they cost, and how much, and then you get discounts for volume purchases. So there you are. So until next time, thank you very much, and good night, good evening, good day, and good morning, wherever you happen to be. Thank you.